Anybody listen to the wrap-up show yesterday on Stern?
I did not. Well, I listened to like 5 minutes of it when I was here, but that's it.
Well, that's because Joe Bedia, or Joe Bedia, was on the wrap-up show with John Hein
How
yesterday.
do you actually pronounce his last name?
He says it's Bedia.
But he doesn't care when people pronounce it Badia?
Everybody calls it Bedia.
Because he pronounced it. Doesn't he do it?
Well, the best was when we were at his place doing the show.
Yeah,
and we're doing the 5-minute portrait. We're like, Joe, so tell us your name and your establishment. He goes, hi, I'm Joe Bedia for Pizzeria Badia. And I'm like, Joe, what is your name? The name of the pizza place? How can it be two different? He's like, well, people call it.
He's like,
Bedia,
I don't care.
or people call it Badia, and I don't want to correct them. I'm like, okay.
Nice guy.
Joe's
So nice.
awesome. So he was on the wrap-up show. That was yesterday, Monday.
Yes.
Because we're recording Tuesday. Yeah, so
Early,
Monday the 23rd, if you go back into the archives and listen to the Stern show, you can hear Joe. He's a super fan of the show. Anyway, you ready to get started?
Yeah, let's do it.
Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. Welcome to RAWtalk episode number 160 as we inch our way closer to 200.
Closer and closer.
And 250. And just more numbers that are higher
5,000.
than higher and higher. So last week
million.
was good.
Yeah.
Bruce Bennett was in. If you guys missed the Bruce Bennett show, you can check it out last week, 159. We talked about quite a bit of stuff. And we've got a lot of stuff to talk about this week.
And we went out to lunch with him after, and I do wish we were recording that as well, because he brought up a lot of cool stuff about like processing film back in the day, on location, in arenas, stuff
Why do you
like
take
that.
the Zoom with you?
Well, we go to lunch. I mean,
'Cause
that
I'm
seems to
eating.
be always what happens. You get into
Supposed
these
to be working
conversations.
all the time.
You
I
get
know,
into
I
these
forgot.
conversations.
My bad.
You get into these conversations with people, and it's awesome because you just have these awesome talks, and not all the time are they recording. So maybe the next time he's on, if he's ever on again.
Yeah.
But I've got some other people to call for interviews and all that good stuff.
Cool.
So what do we have this week? We've got
I don't
a
know. What do we
plug.
have?
We've got some Black Froday sales stuff to talk about, being that this is coming out Monday.
That time of year.
If they're listening, you'll get to take advantage of these offers, and if it's later than Monday, you'll still get to take, probably, because I'll just let it.
You'll just let it.
I'll just let
be
it
on
live
there.
for a minute so you guys can take
Black
advantage.
Tuesday, Black Wednesday. It's like February. It's
No,
Black
no.
History Month.
Amazon's new thing this year. That's terrible. I got that joke. I got it now. The thing with Amazon this year, they're like Black Friday week. Black Friday week?
All Fridays matter, okay? All Fridays matter.
Too soon, Todd. Too soon. So we got that to talk about, the Black Froday sale, what all that stuff is. We got some gear of the week. We've got photo news, and we also have Flying Solo, where people are asking questions, general questions, but also questions about the show.
Yes.
And I'm really
Yes.
happy with the questions that came in. There's some really good ones
Did
to
you get a
talk
lot about the show?
Yeah. There were over 80 or so that came in. I think it was
Nice.
like 90, which is a little light. You never know how Facebook shows videos to
Yeah.
people, but the questions were really good and really solid. So let's get into the Pluggy McPluggerson, which is HOYA
HOYA!
HOYA. So we got HOYA this week. They said, Jared, do your thing. Make up your plug.
Are
Dangerous.
they sure about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, all right.
Have
So
they listened to the show?
it's HOYA and Tokina. We talked about Tokina lenses in the past. They
Yeah.
the bunch of people that left Nikon and started to developing lenses there. A lot of people like those
Traders.
10 to 17s, the 11 to 16s.
Which we saw at Photo Plus.
Which was great. It's a
Yeah.
2.8 all the way through, and it's a good one for real estate in an affordable price.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about that a lot. But HOYA, you got the HD3 filters that we talked about that are 800% harder and smoother and sharper and all of that good stuff like we've talked about before. They also have filters that are extra, extra tough, meaning
Ford tough?
Like Joe.
Like Joe, if you're out and about, say you get paintball on it, it may actually wipe off. Remember when I took a Sharpie to one of the filters?
Yeah.
And the Sharpie just dissipated and you wiped it right off?
Is
Ima-
it, but
it
is
didn't
it
even
tough
let you-
enough like Joe walking through the front door and getting hit by a barrage of Nerf guns?
Did we hit him at all, though?
I definitely
didn't.
did. I was
couldn't
spot
see.
on.
I was filming.
I missed them completely.
It's because you were laying on the side. Like you were doing one of those photographer things where you
was
lay
trying.
sideways and you miss.
I was
cool.
shooting video and shooting, and I nailed him. That's my first-person shooter skills. Joe.
Well,
That's
that's because you play video
like,
games all the time.
Early.
I'm editing the guy.
early.
Yeah, editing the Todd's editing the guide.
Yeah.
It's funny. I'll jump online. They'll be like, "Why aren't you editing the guide?" And I'll be like, "You know what? Fuck you."
Is that what people say?
Yes.
I'll give people your name.
I get
like midnight
I get messages.
on a
They're like,
weekend.
"Yeah, why aren't you editing the guide, Todd?" I'm like, "You fucking assholes."
What
On PlayStation, my PlayStation name is iTodd,
Right.
ITOD, and I play Destiny. Shout out to Gray Warrior. I should play with him. A couple other guys too.
I need
Gray
to take
Warrior.
a note. I need to get note stuff because I can't draw on the iPad to take a note.
Why not? Right on the iPad with a pen. If it had the
Some
Hoya
other guy just played
Hoya
with
filter, you'd be
recently,
fine.
too.
No, it would just dissipate. So wait, let me finish the Hoya plug before we got interrupted by
And
Todd.
by the way, they
So
like the
rudely.
show as well. The TV show.
Good.
I talked to them at length about it.
Good. Well, you should have been editing the guide. So
job, Todd.
if you're doing things out in extreme weather, if you're doing snowboarding, if you're doing paintball gunning and stuff like that, you need the harder filters. You also need the filters that are going to dissipate any crap that lands on it, especially in the snow as winter is coming, because winter's coming.
Winter is coming.
Jon Snow.
You know nothing, Jon
You know
Snow.
nothing, Jon Snow.
Oh, Egrid. Oh, will you marry me? Oh my God, you're so hot right now.
I've got to
You
watch
saw
it.
the poster came out with Jon Snow on the cover for the next season?
Yeah, I hear people keep talking about it, but I don't know
Really?
much about
Because
it.
the motherfucker got killed at the end. And
Is
now
that what it
there's
was?
a poster.
Gotcha.
Don't ruin it. Spoilers.
You didn't see it yet? The
Of course
poster?
I saw.
Oh,
No, I didn't see the poster.
Everyone's seen
The
that.
poster just came out.
I don't even know about
Oh
Game of
my
Thrones. and I
God,
saw
what
it.
if he becomes a White Walker?
Nobody knows what's going on.
He could be a White Walker.
Yeah, nobody knows what's going on.
Anyway, he should have used Hoya filters to protect him from getting stabbed.
That was my
Effed up
point.
Jon
That was
Snow.
my point.
Exactly.
Jon Snow, you should have had some filters on your chest.
So check out the Hoya HD3 filters. We've talked about them quite a bit. We've taken the circular polarizers ones out to the Grand Canyon. That's what we used out there. We also had the bigger ones that Tokina makes, or Hoya. What I think they said Tokina. They're in a box over there. They're the big ones that they use for their Cine lenses.
Yeah.
Because they are also a company. Tokina also makes Cine lenses that are the size of my face.
Where was that at? NAB
That was
when we saw
at
them?
NAB when we
Yeah,
saw it. It was
huge.
this big. And we also did that test where we took
The spray gun.
the spray gun to it, and all the water just dissipated. So pretty cool. Check that stuff out, and that is the end
Probably
of
good for porn. Drips right off.
Well,
Any kind of fluids.
I guess that would come in handy.
Oh, God.
No pun
Joe,
intended.
make a note. Let's get those for our
Come
next
in
shoot.
handy.
Yeah, so moving on, we might as well continue with some pluggies. Videoblocks is doing 50% off 1 year.
I got that email, yeah.
50% off?
Yeah.
That means
That's
40
their best price of the year.
That means $49, ends
Shut
on
up.
11/30.
It's awesome.
11/30, November 30th. So you have to click a link on the page because it's not FroKnowsPhoto.com/go/fro.
Yeah.
It's a special link, so you have to click that over there. And
$49 for the year.
yeah, for 1 year.
That's a steal.
And that actually probably does end Monday. So if you are
They-
listening to the
yeah.
episode Monday, make sure you check
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
out.
and I'll also promote it in a video. So if you guys have been watching any of the videos, you'll know that this time of year there's going to be promotional videos. Speaking of Black Froday sale through Cyber Monday, the space shirt's still $11.99, but the big sale is that the Flash Guide and Beginner Guide to Getting Out Auto are at 50% off once again.
Holy jeez.
So you can use the code
Todd's happy
FRO50
about
off.
that.
FRO50 off. That's lowercase, Steven, for when you put it up on the screen. And I've decided that the DSLR video guide will get its first taste of a sale.
Nope.
It's not as high
Nope.
as that.
Nope.
It's 26% off.
Nope, I didn't agree to that.
By using
whatsoever.
code 26 off. So
Anybody that buys that now is taking money out of my daughter's mouth.
Money out of your daughter's mouth? Is that what you
And
just said?
food. Well, she eats money when she's really hungry because we have no food. So she eats coins and nickels.
26 off. That's 26 and then off lowercase together. Bags are on sale, $20 off the bag, so Todd can finally get one if he takes 20
Son
bucks
of a
off.
bitch.
And straps, the I Shoot Raw straps are also 20 bucks off. By the way, that's $59.99 for the strap. They sell new for I think 73 something in the
Something
stores.
like that, yeah.
So take advantage of that. You can go to FroKnowsPhoto.com/Black Friday, I believe has that information, or you can just go to store.FroKnowsPhoto.com or the website to take advantage of the discounts on all of that stuff for Black Friday.
Did you guys know you have like holiday colors on today, the two of you?
Oh,
Look
that
at
worked
you
out
guys.
The throw thank you cards.
Okay,
Oh, you got into Hogwarts. Holy jeez.
What are you talking about?
You got into Hogwarts?
Harry
No.
Potter.
No, but if you get one of these in the mail, you signed up. We had about 1,500 people sign up to get one of these, and I have about
1,500.
under 500 of them to send out. I have not had Joe stamping these.
You're personally doing
What?
it.
He
I would
came in
have Joe
yesterday while
stamp
I'm
'em.
9 in the morning. I'm sitting here at the table melting wax and stamping these shut.
And has any of the wax gone anywhere but the envelope so
No, because I don't like wax. It's quick drying, so it probably wouldn't burn that long. Maybe we should do a test. Can I froze seal my freaking chest hair?
far? I would like to film fro sealing your nipples.
You want to try that? We could try that.
But
anyway,
privately.
so only a couple of people, like 400, almost 500 people are going to get these in the mail, and just know that I I did this myself.
How many did you do so far?
I did one of the white boxes.
3 or 4.
No, I've maybe
on, like,
Joe. How
7.
many do you think are in a white box?
Probably almost halfway done.
All right, Joe says about 150.
Now,
but
are you signing each one? Are you writing personalized messages to each one?
Well,
or you
it
just
says
signing it?
thank you, and then I signed it.
It's not personal.
Okay.
It
So
is
it's not
personal
It's
because
not
they're
personal
getting.
at
I
all.
stamped
That is
it.
not personal.
It is
Put their
personal.
name on it.
Terrible.
They're like, Bob, thank you,
No, that would take way too long.
for 3 more letters.
Bob. Well, not everybody's named Bob. All right, and did you know this? I saw this fact about millennials.
What was the fact?
That millennials are considered 1980 to 2006.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm actually surprised it's not like 90 to like 2010
Yeah, I would
or
say
something.
90. 80s.
Yeah, well, they're calling. See, all I know is that growing up, you had Generation X, were before me.
Yeah.
And then after, we didn't have anything. We were stuck. We didn't have a generational name.
When
They're like
were you
Generation
born? When were you
Eco.
born?
What?
What year were you born?
81.
I'm 88.
So you're a. See, I would never consider you a millennial.
I wouldn't either.
But whatever, that's what they had. Let's it's time to let's get into millennial bitching and moaning. Oh, one thing I wanted to say is Skype interview. I Skyped with a class, you can take that back, in Iowa. A photo class, a high school photo class in Iowa
Oh, yeah, I was
yesterday.
here for that for like a second because they called early.
Well, no,
Or
they
How
screwed up the
inappropriate
time.
were you with the high schoolers?
I was not inappropriate at all. I have a video you can run, a quick Snapchat I did.
Okay.
I can send it to you just to put
You
on
saved
the
it
screen.
already?
I did save it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Speaking about feeling inappropriate, somebody sent me a message on PlayStation. Kid's like, "Hey, I'm 13. I don't play Destiny, but I really love the podcast. Love everything you guys do." And I was like, "Oh man, I'm sorry."
Anyway, so that's that. I enjoy Skyping in with, if you're a teacher and you listen to this show and you want me to Skype in, or Todd, probably not.
Definitely.
Good luck with
I
that.
mean, unless you need a background check, I'm not doing that.
I actually have all my background checks for hockey done.
Do you?
Yeah, we have to do it every year. You have to get this background check and the safe sport. It's a bunch of bullshit.
Mine,
But-
mean, it's good,
mine
but-
always comes back with LOL.
Anyway, so that was fun talking to those kids. And let's get into photo news.
Well, I want to get into the recording Todd's show last week first before we do that.
Yeah, we had fun. It was
You
an
guys
outing.
had fun.
Oh, please. Look at him just watch.
Anyway,
Like, you got shit to do.
so
All you
Todd-
got to do is wax on the nipples.
Todd wanted to film his improv show last
I was
week.
totally. I mean, we talked about it being an Atomos
More of a
like
test, yeah.
But I really was just trying to whore you out.
we
what I
knew you
figured.
were
I
trying to
wanted
do
to
that
take
'cause you're
advantage
cheap.
of you.
Yeah.
You didn't even buy him dinner.
I'm glad he
No,
bought me like
I
a
did
beer.
buy. I did. We
maybe
did,
2 beers.
I did
think you
try
bought
to
me
pour
2.
beer down his throat, and you, but you wouldn't take it.
I don't drink beer.
But you were already feeling pretty good by the time I got there.
I had one $12 freaking old fashioned that
That's
he must
all it
have made
takes
a
for him.
double. And I was sitting next to your girlfriend all night.
Oh,
That's right.
she
you
was
guys
very
do?
nice. Yeah, I met her for the first time.
good people.
Anna
Very,
Kendrick.
very nice.
yeah.
But anyway, yeah, no, you had a whole setup there.
Well, first of all, I came under the impression that it was like a actual venue, not like a bar.
Yeah.
I didn't really realize that.
I told you that. It
but
wasn't.
I never
it was
saw
a Todd
pictures of it.
event.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get there. There's
You were probably thinking it was like the theater that you've seen
exactly
other stuff.
because I've seen
Yeah,
other stuff.
sure.
The other videos you
Yeah,
recorded, and it was
yeah.
actually an actual theater with like
Yeah.
seating and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm thinking it was like that. I roll up, and it ends up being this bar with like the worst, creakiest floors ever. Like take Jared's floor and times that by like 100 of how bad they were in terms of like how
Yep.
shaky they were.
Yep.
You just walk by 20 feet away. The cameras are shaking like crazy. Anyway, the Atomos was great. One big thing that I noticed was just the fact with the focus peaking was solid.
Well, on a 7-inch
Nice.
screen instead of a 3-inch
Instead of a
screen.
3-inch trying to actually rack focus, it's night and day, man. Also, the white balance issue there was like all over the place because they had tungsten light, daylight, whatever,
All over the place.
all over the place, man. And drunk bitches everywhere.
Well, I looked
Well,
back.
I mean, Jared only had one drink. I wouldn't call him a bitch because of that.
I look back,
But-
and this girl is just looking at us, standing, looking at the. We have the GoPro set
Holding
up,
on to the
and she's like,
GoPro, the light stand, shaking it. I'm like,
What are you
clearly
guys
there's
doing?
a camera recording.
Oh my God! Are you guys videotaping? I'm a videotaper as well. I like to go out to eat afterwards too. Are you guys hungry?
So basically, the setup I had was 2 Atomoses, 1 medium, 1 wide shot, and then I had a GoPro in the back for the crowd cam. And now the crowd cam, I went back to look at the footage.
Looking at you.
It's just shaking, and it bent down because she shook it so hard because she's like holding it the entire time. But the main issue was just a shaking.
I'm
of the venue.
fucking hammered.
The other thing is the
Oh my
zoom.
God.
So I mounted the zoom on top of the stage. They had this little rack right on top, and right
For the
before we
curtain, the
started,
curtain rod.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which by the way, was not very sturdy at all.
I'm sure. I'm absolutely
So I
sure.
mount this thing, and we go to record, and I'm like just checking levels last minute. Air conditioning comes on. There's a vent right next to where the zoom was. Exactly. All I hear is, I'm like, what is that?
Darth?
Realize it's blowing right directly into the zoom. So anyway, luckily I moved that last minute. Audio came out pretty good. Everything generally came out good. But the fact that the point is the difference with the Atomos, man. Filming with the Atomos is, again, night and day. Like,
How was it
was
between
solid.
the two different models? Because you had two different models out there.
The
right?
screens are like exactly
same.
the same. So there was really no difference for me for what I was using.
Now,
it
which
for.
ones did you have? I saw the
The
red one.
Shogun. I had the Atomos Shogun and the Atomos Assassin, which is that one we're using
Okay.
right now.
And the Assassin is how much?
Assassin's about $1,200, something like that,
And the other one's
Shogun's
what?
about $2,000.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's really the difference is the inputs that you're using.
Well,
But
we didn't shoot
anyway.
4K, and you could always
Yeah.
go pick up the $295.
I mean, if you were there for the show, it probably
Ninja
wasn't
2.
worth 4K because some of that stuff wasn't that good.
No, that was horrible.
but
The lighting was so bad too. I'm at like 6400 ISO, like 2.8, like as low as I can
the
be.
image looked nice though. When I was looking over your shoulder, it looked
Well,
pretty
that's
nice
the other
for
thing
what
is
it
with the
was.
422 10-bit, like
Yeah.
the Atomos really brings that out in
Awesome.
the sensor. So
All right,
anyway,
time,
moving forward.
time to get into photo news. Let's
Yes.
do millennial bitching and moaning music to get into photo news, brought to you by audioblocks.com/go/fro and go.
I don't even know what that means.
Tinder.
I don't either. What is millennials bitching music?
I don't know
It's
what
just
that
all they
means.
do is whine. Not all of them. They're just like, I can't do
Oh, so you
that.
are definitely a millennial.
I
then.
can't do
no,
that.
All right, I'm sold on you being a millennial now, for sure.
Wait a second. Shouldn't I have a raise for just doing my job?
What do you mean a camera guy costs that much? I don't want to buy that over there.
Man, let me get on my scooter.
Motor scooter. First up, we've got Leica has unveiled the fourth model in their M lineup, introducing the Leica M Type 262 camera. Now, Leica says the new camera is pretty much a bare bones version and geared for the still shooter in mind. They say it focuses on the essentials of M rangefinder photography and that it's the M in its purest form. Now, they add that the Leica M
Yeah,
system...
purest form as in it shoots film.
Well, yeah, right. The Leica M system fulfills real photographic needs. This applies in particular to the Leica M Type 262, this camera, a digital rangefinder camera that consciously offers less than is technically possible. Now, it reminds me more of like a Nikon DF because it only shoots stills, not video.
Did you know Leica had a camera back in the day, maybe 10 years ago, that was a film/digital camera?
Was it?
You take the back off.
Hybrid.
It was a digital door. The door had a CCD in it.
Interesting.
And you would switch it between the back door and run film and digital. It's pretty shitty. And expensive.
So anyway, again, there's no video recording at all, no video capabilities in this camera,
All right, well,
no
I'm not
live
listening
view.
now.
And the menu system has even been streamlined and simplified, only
Yeah.
having 2 pages of settings and options. Now, spec-wise, it does have a 24-megapixel full-frame sensor, ISO range of 200 to 6400 natively, shoots up to 3 frames per second, has an aluminum body, making it 100 grams lighter than the Type 240 camera, has a 3-inch LCD with Gorilla Glass that they say is super tough. The shutter has also been made quieter compared to the Type 240.
This just in. Breaking news. Breaking news. It's no longer called Gorilla Glass. It's called Naruto Glass.
Now, Leica says... Phone call? Is Naruto? Is that...
What? Oh,
Hey,
no,
buddy.
no. He was joking. No. You don't need to sue us for that either. You're not going to get a check for that either.
Now, Leica says it's barely audible, talking about the shutter.
What?
And it guarantees maximum
What?
discretion.
What'd you say?
How much is it?
It's available now for the good old Leica price of $5,195.
Yeah,
really
half
cheap,
the,
chump
it's great.
change.
Leica,
Couple
you
iPad
guys
Pros.
are awesome, Leica. Keep putting this crap out time and time again so that the more doctors and lawyers can purchase a really expensive toy that doesn't do anything more or better than just about anything else out there.
Hey, Charles, I just got my new Leica camera.
Oh, you bought the
Which one?
$5,000 one? You should have bought the $10,000
Oh, I
one.
have that in the trunk of my Porsche. I can go get that for you.
And keep in mind, this is just the body. You know,
Keep
no
in mind,
lenses.
the trunk of the Porsche is actually in the front.
Oh, that's amazing. How about that Ben Carson?
Doctor.
Next up, we got a new photo book. It features street portraits of New Yorkers and Chicagoans on their lunch break in the 70s.
Whoa, whoa, why are you pointing the camera at me right now? I'm trying to eat my sausage.
Now, the book is simply called Lunchtime. The book is by photographer Charles H. Traub. Between 1977 and 1980, he ventured onto the streets of Chicago, New York, and even a couple European cities to photograph people on their lunch break.
That sounds good.
Now, he ran into many people, including Jackie Kennedy, and he also made lifelong friends, which can likely be credited to the up-close nature of his shots.
You mean he's suing Humans of New York now?
It's pretty much the original Humans of New York, yeah.
Which isn't really the original Humans of New York because you have all of the decisive moment people who would stand on the side of the street.
You
and
mean
do the
guys
same
with
thing.
cameras
Exactly.
that have been around a long time?
Anyone
Yeah.
with a camera
Yeah.
on the side of a street getting
Yeah.
the
Like
story.
Vivian Mayer.
Yep, there you
Crazy.
go. He says he always got permission and talked to his subjects before photographing them. He says we quickly exchanged information, most importantly about who they were: professors, business people, shop owners, musicians, etc. A couple of the people became real friends. Most memorable is the fact that I have no memory of anyone rejecting my quest to photograph them.
That he remembers.
Of course, there were always questions
A lot
like,
of
why are you
cocaine
doing
back
this?
then.
And I
true.
answered, I'm an artist and I like the way you look.
What's
or
it
the
called?
drape of your scarf. It's called Lunchtime. Or I'm just curious about where you are going for lunch. That's what he says about the book. And the photographs, now the best part about the images are like the subject's fashion choice. They've got like huge tinted glasses, crazy mustaches, retro like logo shirts, you know, all the cliche 70s look.
Like the shit I
Pretty
wear.
much how Todd looks right now.
Is it available on
The
Amazon?
book is available now on Amazon for about $32.
What's it called?
It's called Lunchtime, one word.
Oh, I have 2 words for lunchtime.
Yep. And
Leave it to Jared.
so $32, and you can find a couple of the images linked over on the
Classic
website
Jared.
if you want to check them out.
What's
for
the guy's name?
yourself.
Charles Taub?
Charles H. Traub.
I wonder if any of them had
Traub.
afros. They
Adding
probably
to
had
cart.
afros. I bet you.
In the
Proceed
pictures
to
that I saw,
checkout.
some of the samples, there was no afros. But
Oh.
yeah.
I'm going to order it. It just doesn't have my information in here.
Cool. Yeah, I think it just came out late September or early October.
A lot of black and whites, color.
Color. All color.
All color.
Great images. Yeah, like the quality of it's pretty remarkable for being in the late
Nice.
70s.
It sounds awesome.
Check it out. Let's see.
Yeah, there's a couple right there.
Oh, nice. I love
See,
that.
like the one on the left, I
blonde
feel like
lady
looks like current day.
amazing.
Wow, they do. These are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they don't look like they were taken 40
yesterday.
years
Oh my
ago.
God.
There you go.
Hey, Todd, is this your parents?
Oh.
Mr. and Mrs. Wolf.
Is that Woody? Oh my God.
That guy looks like the guy from the Atomos family.
So this isn't exactly like Humans of New York because he gets really up close
These
and
are just
personal.
strictly like headshot portraits.
I
and
was-
the other thing is, I'm not sure if there's stories in the book. I tried to look and see if there's any Q&A about the book in there,
Oh.
but they didn't list anything like that. So I don't know if it is like Humans of New York where he actually lists the story.
Oh,
or if
anyway.
he just knows it personally. I
I'd
don't
love to list their lunch. Like,
It's
That
in
would
my
be cool.
cart.
This guy ate a cheeseburger and some
and it
chicken
costs
nuggets today.
$1.25 or 35 cents.
Anyway, while you're doing that, moving forward, we've got this is a pretty big story. The FAA has published their drone task force's list of recommendations that we talked about a few weeks back for registering your drone. Now, the main recommendations of the 14-page report include that the registration procedure should apply to unmanned airborne systems that weigh 250 grams or more, which is about half a pound. It should be free and easy to register online, and one registration number could be used on multiple drones operated by the same person, which is good. Now, drone operators would also be required to enter their name and street address into a web-based or app-based registry, but other contact details like email and phone number would be optional. Now, the system would also be powered by an API that multiple websites can feed into, which is good. So that means like manufacturers could set up their own registration sites. So if you're buying from DJI, you could probably go right there and register your drone
Automatically.
as well. Yeah. Now, I find this one kind of weird. New drone owners wouldn't be able to register at the point of sale since they say it wouldn't be illegal to own an unregistered drone. It'd only be illegal to operate a registered drone.
So it's like a 14-day waiting period to buy a gun?
Yeah, kind of. Now, I feel like they should at least like give you an option if you're like buying it not as a gift. Like you should still be able to register right then and there at point of sale. Anyway, operators would get a certificate of registration that they'd have to carry with them in printed or electronic form whenever they're flying their drone. The registration number would have to be marked legibly on every drone they owned as well.
Really? So they're going to have to put like a nameplate on it?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
a license plate.
Yeah.
Can you get novelty license plate?
Fro drone. Obama drone.
God damn it, Martha.
Dude, you need to lock up Obama drone really quick. Obama drone. That's mine. That's mine. You can sell that.
Now again,
God damn it, no! I got my license plate on. It says son bitch. Son bitch is my registration.
but it's son of bitch, right?
Son bitch. Just S-U-N
S-U-N.
B-I-C-H. Son bitch.
Book is ordered.
Oh, cool.
iPad Pro to the rescue.
Now, again, the registration number would have to be marked, but you can have the same one for any drone you own. So if you have 5 drones, you can have the same number for each.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're saying you can register multiple drones under one number.
One registration.
Yep.
That's cool.
Let's see. They also say you would also need to be at least 13 years old
Sorry, Joe.
Joe, you're screwed, man.
to comply with child privacy laws. However, younger kids could operate drones that have been registered by a parent or guardian. They just can't register it. There would also be an
That
education.
seems weird. That's
think
a
it's
little
weird?
odd. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I think
you
it's
can
child
give.
privacy laws. You can't register and give your information on the website. So they're saying your parent has to register, but
Oh,
they
so
can
they're
still
not
fly
even
it.
concerned about an 8-year-old flying a drone into
I
your
guess
window.
not.
Okay, all right. It's more about the privacy. All right, I get
yeah.
that. All right.
Jennifer, I got
It is kind of-
for you.
Hey, girl,
Oh God.
I can see you through your window right now.
Bobby, are you in my window again? Get that drone out of here. I'm going to call my dad.
Blasting Peter Gabriel while you're at it.
Yeah, it's the new Say Anything.
There would also be an education component built into the registration process, similar to like the FAA's Know Before You Fly campaign. The report says all operators will have to register or otherwise find themselves inadvertently in violation of this new system. Now, FAA Administrator Michael Huerta says
Huerta.
the interim
Hoya.
rules for the registration system are likely to be released next month. Now, I know the plan is to release it before Christmas or the holiday season in general.
this is Christmas.
Because they're saying that all these millions of people are going to get these new drones and they want to have them registered.
Millions, really? They think millions of people
I think they said
are
millions,
asking for
yeah.
drones. Is that what's hot on the street?
That's
what's hot on the
streets,
street.
Yeah. Now, in the meantime, you can read the entire proposed report over on the website if you want every little detail. Again, this is the recommendation list, not exactly the exact list.
FroKnowsPhoto.com/RAWtalk-160. No, wait, did we miss that drone story last week about the people in Texas?
People in Texas, what one was that?
In the back of the car with the cops saying that they had...
I'm coming up with
All
that
right,
later.
good, because
Yeah.
we forgot. Yeah,
Yep.
the printer was out of paper and you didn't realize it.
Yeah, so 2 of the news stories from last week I'm going to recycle for this week pretty much because it is a slow news week because we are filming on a Tuesday, not a Thursday, given it being Thanksgiving and all. Anyway, next up we've got a long-distance couple were reunited in a single photograph, although they were on the opposite ends of the world when it was taken. Siak Lee and Donbi Shin took a series
Which one's
of
the girl?
photos. I believe the second one, Donbi Shin.
I'm going with the first one.
I think it's the first
I'm pretty
one.
sure
Yeah.
it's the second
I'm
one.
going with I'm putting money on the
You
first
can go
one.
whatever one you want.
Yeah.
Now, anyway, they took a series of photos, which they're calling half and half, which they took the picture at the same time, but in each location, later combining them into a split screen mashup image. For example, like a street bike in New York combined with a scooter in Korea because one of them lives in New York, one of them lives in South Korea. They have the couple's hand, one showing like the landscape of South Korea, the other showing Times Square in the background. They have an outlet, like a power outlet, one side being American, the other being half European. They also included photos of themselves staring at each other at like the end of the frame. So when combined, it looks like they're staring at each other. Again,
Have they met
Korea,
each
New
other? Or
York.
is this just like an online thing?
No,
Have
I
they ever
think
met
they've
each
always.
They were dating.
Yeah, and then one of them moved,
one got moved.
so New York and South Korea, and then they just talk to each other over the
Okay.
phone
It's not
and say,
just
"We're
like
gonna take
this
this
random
picture."
I love you.
Exactly.
Okay.
So anyway, speaking of how they collaborate in real time, talking over the phone and capturing the photos simultaneously, despite the 14-hour time difference. And you can follow their project on Instagram. It's under the handle SHINLIART. Shinley Art.
Shinley Art.
Shinley Art, yep.
I love you more. I love you more.
No, I love
I love
you.
you more.
Well, it's pretty cool. They have some unique creative images. And yeah.
Sounds cool.
Yeah. Next up, we got police were called to an office building in Lancaster, PA this past week after a photographer's tripod was mistaken for a machine gun.
Well, if you've ever been to Lancaster, the total number of teeth in Lancaster is 12.
Oh, God. Officers responded to the 11 a.m. call by searching the Greist,
No offense if you live in Lancaster, by the way.
the Greist or Greased building, floor by floor for the suspected gunman. Now, they soon found the female photographer and her tripod. You can see a photo over on the website of the photographer posing with her like hands up and the police around her with full body armor. They have helmets on, everything.
God damn it, you hippies in your cameras.
The image caption on the photograph they released reads, "Sometimes when a charming photographer from the Reading Eagle comes to take your photo for an upcoming story, and someone on the street sees her tripod under her arm and thinks it's a machine gun and calls the police, and they arrive to search the building floor by floor to locate her and find her to only learn that it was just a tripod. A happy photo gets taken.
Oh, that ain't no tripod, girl. That ain't no tripod. Use a cute one right there.
Now, Lancaster Police Lieutenant Todd Umstead, he says the caller did the right thing, that the police
Todd.
would much rather respond to a call like this and find nothing than not get a call when someone really has a gun.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
Yeah. And moving forward, we've got a newly uploaded video, which was actually filmed in 1986, but it just got uploaded on YouTube. It shows,
Millennial video. though.
What, was it done on beta?
it shows how a Leopard battle tank would make for an excellent camera stabilizer. Could you imagine Todd like doing a video shoot and just roaming down the street with a freaking tank and a camera stabilizer?
The BlackBerry drives like a tank.
Now in the video, a German soldier pours like a beer into a pitcher. He places it on the tank's barrel.
Yeah, I got some Colts going on here on the tank.
And he watches as the tank pretty much floors it, going over bumps and all, while the barrel and beer are steady and stabilized, not spilling a drop. Now, for real world usage,
Hello, delivery service. I got your beer.
in a separate
Hold
video.
on, I got the beer here.
Now there's a
We
separate
deliver
video.
you one tank.
God. In the separate video,
That
someone
wasn't
did,
German.
someone did actually attach a camera to the newer Leopard 2 tank. This is a more recent video, a separate video recently, now showing what it would look like if you were to actually use it as a camera stabilizer. They really did put a camera on it, and it's just so smooth and cinematic almost.
Snell. Snell.
9.
And the real reason...
Wait, did it have a HOYA HD3 filter on the end of
It
it?
should. Definitely should if it's going in battle. Now, the real reason it's so steady is that so the tank can fire accurately while moving at top speed. But you can see both videos over on the website. Thought it was a fun one to bring up.
Beer delivery. Yeah, I got your Colts. I also have your women in Lederhosen. Lederhosen. Yeah, that's why we film now. We use this as a film stabilizer for the Scheiße Essen. Yeah, you like your Scheiße Essen? Oh, yeah. Oh, don't forget your HOYA filter. Schnei.
Just lost about 100 German listeners.
Nine.
We've got photographer, this is a hard name to say, Paywell Cadiz.
That's wrong.
He's currently putting together a new 365-day photo series showcasing what it would look like in Darth Vader's everyday life. Now, the images portray the Sith Lord as just a normal guy with everyday life problems. Some examples include Darth Vader like using the Force to hold up a camera,
The condom broke.
reading a book called How to Rule, heading to the Death Star market to go grocery shopping. He has a pumpkin carving. He has like a pumpkin carving ideas list, which lists like Yoda and
Pick up my
R2-D2
asthma medication.
and more as possible carvings. Now, the photographer is using an Olympus OMD EM5 Mark I with a few M-Zuko lenses and a cheap amateur strobe for the shots. Now, to follow the
And
project,
it shows because those pictures aren't that good.
but the
The
whole thought
concept
behind
is
it
good,
and the concept, I
but
think,
the
is great.
pictures aren't very good. You do agree with that, right?
But if he's doing it every day, 365 days, you have a life. I don't think it has to be perfect.
I'm not saying perfect, but the images they just look like snapshots.
More or less, yeah. Now, to follow the project, you can follow their Instagram account. It's @dvader. The profile's description reads, Sith Lord, the Emperor, born and raised on Tatooine, loves to fly his TIE fighter, took up photography lately, releases the shutter using the Force, the Dark One. Yeah, only a few more weeks away from the movie, so I wanted to bring
What's
that
it
one
called?
up. It's @dvader.
D-V-A-D-E-R.
dvader.
@dvader.
Yeah. He's probably got about, 25 up so far or something like that. And again, 365-day project, so every
There
day
it
is going to be
is.
a new one.
There's one I follow that's Star Wars related, and they put a stormtrooper figure at all these different places at Disney World. Like he's just hanging out at Disney World.
I have a friend. She takes Stormy around every day. She takes it everywhere with her.
That's it.
Oh, is it? Wait,
Yeah,
you actually know
Stormy
them?
Walt WDW or something like
I
that.
don't. What
and
is it?
It's putting a stormtrooper at Disney World in all these different situations.
Do they work at Disney, I'm assuming?
Maybe they do.
Because if they're there every day posting a
It
picture.
must be. I think it's somebody that actually works in the park, and they just started
funny.
this stormtrooper at Disney
And I'm sure
World.
Disney loves it because now they own
Well,
all
they
the
own
rights.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, if you want to pick up the Space Edition shirt, it's $11.99 on
Space
sale.
Edition.
Space Edition. At
Space.
store.FroKnowsPhoto.com. Just click on shirts and look for the Space Edition shirt.
We have Canon is suing gray market camera dealers, including Get It Digital, All New Shop, and F&E Trading, which owns Big Value Electronics Valley, Electronics Basket,
Big
Davis
Valley,
Max,
Valley, we're going insane.
Net Sales, and 6th Avenue. That was good. Now the gray market.
You remember Crazy? You know who Crazy Eddie was?
Crazy Eddie.
You've told me about him before.
Yeah.
You remember Crazy Eddie?
Yeah.
Because I'm going insane.
Our
Yeah, you showed me
prices
the
are
commercial.
insane.
And guess where Crazy Eddie ended up?
Bankruptcy.
In jail.
Now, for those that don't know, the gray market is when a dealer imports and sells unauthorized gear that was intended for another country's camera market, where the cheaper gear is legitimate, not counterfeit, but it's unauthorized and usually isn't covered by Canon's warranty.
Look,
Right.
we've said this. I've said this a million times. People are like, I found a great deal on this camera.
I wonder why it's
And
$1,000
Why
cheaper.
is it $1,000 less than Allen's or B&H or any reputable place? Because it's probably gray market, and if it's too good to be true,
Exactly.
it is.
Yep.
And if they say it is U.S. warranty, guess what these places do to you? They say, oh, we'll sell you the body for that price, but you need to buy the battery, and
Yep.
the charger,
Everything
and you need
separately.
to get all these accessories, and they charge you a lot.
I was going to say they overcharge you for
Right.
the little
It's
accessories.
bullshit.
Here's a battery charger for $500.
So just buy from the reputable places. Stop trying to be cheap and buy from a place that isn't reputable because you think you're going to save money. You're just going to create more hassle for yourself and lose money.
Yep.
I buy it off Craigslist from a guy that's in the CVS parking lot.
That's definitely legitimate.
yeah.
Keep buying from there.
The guy in the CVS parking lot said the warranty was rock solid.
Well, then
He said
clearly
he'll
he's
back
right.
it.
yeah, and then he vomited Mountain Dew, but it was
It was like
that
a handwritten
different.
warranty, right?
Yeah.
That's what Canon
it was,
issues,
It was
yeah.
cool though.
Perfect.
Yeah. Then we
Awesome.
got beef jerky.
Now, Canon USA claims that gray market products infringe upon its U.S. trademark for the Canon brand, since they are the exclusive licensee of the Canon brand for the U.S. market. So they argue that the third-party retailers should be ordered to stop importing Canon products from other markets for sale.
They should.
Now, they say it harms customers, too, by
It does.
spreading counterfeit serial numbers, by not having solid warranty coverage, by using misleading packaging, by including cheap photocopies of manuals, and by including accessories that are not compliant with local regulations. They also want what the third-party companies earn from selling the goods. They say the damages sought by Canon in these lawsuits could very well reach into the millions of dollars and put these companies out of business for good. Now, you can see the copies of the legal documents over on the website for all the nitty-gritty details, everything you need to know about it.
What's the reason for the huge price difference though between these markets?
I don't know.
Like, why is it so much cheaper to import these products? Or is it just that much
Well,
of a
you're-
jacked up price point in the U.S.?
I think part of it comes down to the warranty. You're getting something that isn't registered or available.
but if you bought it in the other country,
importing taxes
the warranty
or something.
is valid?
Well, I also think the fact that they're buying just like the body, they're buying it as a kit and then selling all the accessories so expensive that they're making up for selling the body so cheap. At least that's how
I
they
don't
usually
know.
do it.
What's next?
I don't buy from there, so I can't really tell you.
Nor do I.
We've got angry brides are fighting
wanna
back.
move
Angry brides are fighting back when their wedding photographer, Justin Hollow of Lakes Photography, failed to deliver on their images.
Really? Allegedly?
Allegedly.
Is it?
Yes. Now, Australia TV program A Current Affair took their...
A current affair?
Current
Remember
Affair.
that, Todd?
I love Current Affair.
They took their bridal justice bus, pretty much a big bus that says bridal justice on the side, filled with several of the upset brides and
I
grooms.
like the bus videos. There's a couple of them that I really, really enjoy.
That's Bang Bus?
The ones that use the HOYA filters, right?
Yeah. Different things happen, though, on those.
I love how they pick up a random person who just left the gym.
And they're
is
okay
a
to be filmed.
MILF. Oh, excuse me. Would you like a... Oh, yeah, let me get into your bus. Oh, your pants are off? Oops, I fell
Why are
onto...
there no seats in this bus?
Let me thank you for giving me that free ride.
Whoa,
Joe.
whoa, Steven, jeez, Louise, this is a family show.
Kids watch this in high school.
Seriously, the kid on
13-year-olds,
PlayStation
right?
is like 15. Way to
13.
go.
Anyway, it was filled with all these upset brides and grooms. They were all decked out in their wedding attire, too, and they went and confronted this photographer, who I think was also on a shoot while they confronted him.
They were like, Todd, how dare you come shoot those
12,000.
All my
Yeah,
photos were out of focus and at 12,800. Now, the 15-minute video has them all trying to get answers from him. They say he allegedly left half of them in tears on their big day. He abused guests supposedly. He didn't pay refunds after canceling, didn't deliver his products, and even threatened newlyweds that he would delete their files and take them to court for defamation.
Hey, I'll delete your files, buddy.
If they post negative reviews.
If
He's
you
not
post
Canadian.
negative reviews, I will delete your files.
What
I will.
accent is that?
Canadian.
It's Terrence and Phillip.
I guess so.
Shut your face.
Uncle.
So wait, where is this happening?
In Australia.
In Australia.
That's
Oi!
why I was kind of weirded out while you're doing
Oi, I'll delete your photos. This is a knife. That's not a knife. I'll delete your photos. I'll feed them to a dingo. Watch out for the drop bears. Bindi Irwin. Danny Irwin. What's the kid's name with the bowl haircut again?
No idea.
I say this every time.
I think it was Danny.
No, I don't. I think it's
No?
Bindi Irwin. Oi, I take your photos. Crikey, I'll delete your photos.
Still going?
Let me know when he's done. I'm going to be on Facebook.
How dare you accuse me of being disgruntled to your family? Bindi Irwin.
Now, he says his
Oh, we're done.
delays have not been intentional and that most are just waiting on the video portion of their package. Now, after confronting him, the team at A Current Affair hired other photographers to actually take photos of the couples that same day, hence why they were all like dressed up in their
But
wedding
how many
attire.
couples and how far behind was he?
On the bus, they had
Allegedly.
about 6 to 8 couples.
Dude, that's hot.
And they
If they
didn't give
film
out
that-
complete details about that.
I
either.
would look that up online. 8 couples?
Now,
One
he
bus?
has since been banned from being a member of the Australian Institute of Professional Photography.
Breaking news. This just in.
Got you.
What's the guy's name?
It is Justin Hollow of Lakes Photography.
Oi, Justin Allo of Lakes Photography. You, sir, have been banned from the Australian Organization of Photographers. Oi,
Why are you looking at that?
crikey. I'm reading the notes.
He can't afford an iPad Pro. He doesn't deliver any of his photos.
Now, since the initial filming of this video, too, he also delivered most of the confronting couple's full wedding packages. That's
Oh,
what they
good.
ended the video with. So
course.
I don't know how long it
Oi!
was in between that they didn't get their packages.
This
but
just in. You've been reinstated to the Australian Photo Organization of America.
But you can see the whole video on the website. It's almost like TMZ style, where they all jump out of the bus and
Of
like
course.
confront them, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Where's my photos?" Blah blah
How
blah.
dare you.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, hi guys.
I'm so mad.
Yeah.
Urgh.
But it's interesting. We've got more drone news. DJI is set to open up its flagship retail store in
Shengyu.
Is that what it is?
How's it spelled?
In China? SHENZHEN.
It's Shenzhen.
Shenzhen,
Yeah.
China. Okay,
That's
now,
where I think all of the major like Foxconn and all those
sure,
people
yeah.
are.
The Apple
Shenzhen.
stuff comes from there a
Yeah,
lot of the time.
Shenzhen.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the store will sell their drones along with other video rigs, like their new Osmo stabilizer that we have. Now, the store itself looks more like a showcase room for the drones, although they say there will be a flight cage in the store, but customers won't be able to try the drones out themselves. Yeah, only DJI employees will be flying them.
They
Now,
had that flight. Didn't they have like a flight cage at
every
NAB?
expo they always do, yeah. It's pretty
I
cool.
want one of those.
Fly me to the moon. Let me play amongst the stars. Let me be the first to wander Jupiter or Mars. In other words, please be true. In
You hit
other
that note.
words, I love you.
I love how Jared gave me the eyeball when I'm playing the drone sound effect over his atrocious singing.
My singing
He's
is
like,
fine.
how dare you?
That's 'cause he can add
do something
reverb.
ridiculous during this segment.
We've got now, according to DJI, part of the purpose of the new flagship store is to get more customers who aren't already familiar with drones to play with them and become interested.
But they're
They
not allowed
say-
to play with them.
That's what's weird. Yeah, they say we want more people to see and touch our products. So I guess just seeing and touching them, not actually flying.
Check this out,
them.
Steven. Do you know people have
Kind of
left
like the strip club. You
People-
can only look and touch, but you can't really play with them.
So people have been leaving comments, and the guy from DJI has verified this, that you cannot put the blades on wrong.
Yeah, how did you do that?
Dude, I'm telling you.
Because we actually talked to him.
Right. And he's like, there's no way to put the blades on wrong.
We put those things on
Did
wrong.
you like strip them on or something?
I have no idea. We got them on there.
Have we flown it since to see if it works?
I don't think we have, no.
Because I really hope you didn't screw it up.
I mean, it probably fucked the blades up for sure.
well, you did
Yeah.
screw the blades up,
Yeah.
but
it would definitely zip. It would just do a somersault.
I mean, the thing is, they're also like aluminum rotors where the blades themselves are just that
They're
plastic.
just
so
kinda
you
like
would strip them
plasticky.
first,
So I mean,
not the actual
we
rotor.
probably just turned them to a point where they stayed on.
Yeah, you probably
but-
just turned them the wrong way. I don't know.
I don't even know how you
help
do
for
that.
flying.
It's like dangling off.
It
You're
was
like, oh, yeah, it's perfect.
It was 5 o'clock,
Fired up.
4:30 in the morning.
Way to be prepared.
It reminds me of the Grand
we
Canyon.
probably
We
have-
woke
I
up at
probably
4
have
a.m. for the
footage of it.
sunset shoot. That was fun.
Yeah.
So far, the company has made all of its direct sales online, although it does work with dealers around the world to get its drones into physical stores as well. Now, according to the Wall Street Journal, DJI says it will likely open other retail locations in the future, but has no specific plans for the expansion right now. So it'll just be in China right now, this flagship store. And you can see early renders of inside the store. It's over on the website. The company expects to open the store next month in mid to late December. So, first DJI store. And we have finally...
It's been a long December, and there's reasons to believe maybe this year will be better than the last.
Love Counting Crows. We've got a new video by YouTube user the Show Mebby. This video shows Dallas police and detectives confronting a film crew about flying their drone, and I use air quotes for that, for those people listening, in restricted airspace. Now, the video starts off with the police advising them, saying they contacted the FAA, verifying that it's illegal to fly a drone within 5 miles of an airport, which they are within that limit, and that they cannot fly their so-called drone. Now, the police leave, and the video then pans to the rig in question, which is in, like, the back of an SUV, and now it's actually a DJI product, but it's a DJI Ronin. A Steadicam rig, not a drone. The crew then picks it up and begins to pretty much mock them, making drone noises and pretending to fly it. And they're like,
Yep.
yeah, we have our
Yep.
drone. Ha, ha,
The only thing I couldn't figure out is why he just didn't fess up and is like,
I don't get that either.
like, dude, no, look, it's not a
Yeah.
drone. It's this thing. See,
in,
oh, look.
in the video, the officer asks, do you have any more questions? And he's like, no, officer, I understand. And they're all taking it very seriously, almost like making fun of him to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And then it comes, pans to that, and they're really making fun.
No,
of
I
the
mean,
cops.
you don't need to be a dick about it.
I just
and I'm
don't
not
get why
talking
he
about the
didn't
police.
No.
I'm talking about
Say,
these
like,
guys
it's not a drone.
just standing there and be like, it's illegal to fly drones. Oh, you know what, officer, hold on. Let me show you what we actually have
Yeah.
here. This is actually a rig for stabilizing.
Educate
It
them,
doesn't
yeah.
fly.
Yep.
And they'd be like, oh, all
They'd be
right,
like,
that's
oh,
fine.
okay, we're stupid, my bad, cool. And then at that point, I think we talked about this off the air. You're educating them
Exactly.
in terms of what this stuff is.
Yep.
Because, yeah, this stuff looks weird. It might look like a machine gun. It might look like
Yeah.
a drone.
Yep.
So why not educate these guys?
They're just
to a
doing
certain
their
degree?
job.
And
But
this is
instead,
also,
these guys were like, "Oh, this is going to be a great video. We're going to make fun of these cops."
And if you've
That's
ever,
how it felt.
Yeah, if you've ever seen the DJI Ronin, when it's not being held, it actually has a little stand that comes with it. We've
Yep.
seen it at the expo. And when you put it on that stand, it does look like it almost has wings and like legs to actually land and
Hey
stuff
guys,
like that. So I
let's
could see
show them our drone.
I could see them, thinking it was a drone if you're not in this industry.
Of course.
Of
course.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it for news this week. A little bit light on news because it's the holiday week, but
That's good news.
yeah.
All right, let's get some stop being a dick drone news music going out to those guys in Texas. So Texas drone music.
Texas drone music.
You ready? Audioblocks.com.
Were they from Texas?
Yeah. All right, let's get some of that Texas drone music in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, thank you, Stephen, for photo news.
You're welcome.
Now it's time. We're going to get right into the flying solo questions, which are all, not all, but most of them are from people asking questions about the first episode of the FroKnowsPhoto Show.
Awesome.
Done out in the Grand Canyon.
Canyon.
Are we ready?
We are.
My nose itches. Tom Hines. Hey, Jared, Stephen, and Master Todd.
Yep.
Thank you for producing such a great show. It was really a pleasure to watch it. My question is, how do you solve the energy problem in the wilderness? Were you able to charge batteries of all the devices you used in the camp, or did you
good question.
take so many reserve batteries as possible with you. Greetings from Germany.
We never really talked about that.
Well,
No.
you know what? First off, if nobody's watched it, where can they see it?
FroKnowsPhoto.com/show to watch the Fro Show. Steven, why don't you take the answer because you had to do a lot of battery charging?
Well, basically, Adventure Driven is the one that supplied us with everything. They had a whole giant generator, like a little mini trailer that attached to the truck. I don't know if they had external batteries or what.
Well, they
had the
did a lot of
solar panels.
solar.
They did a lot of solar. Yeah, well, they have 3 different solar panels
Yeah,
that they
I think
would
they
light
would
up.
charge that during the day.
Charge that during the day, and then that usually let us charge all the batteries at night. But then we just basically brought a bunch of extension cables and power bricks and all that, and just charged every night. Every night we would do the GoPro batteries, camera batteries,
DJI battery.
DJI battery, every single battery. you could
DJI
think of.
battery.
One battery.
Solo.
Yeah, solo. We only had one. Yeah,
That was bad.
but that's how we charged it each
Yep.
night, and our laptops if needed, whatever. But
Well-
as far as our phones and electronics, we usually had our own separate like RAV power chargers.
Yeah.
For our half a bar that we would get out there.
Yeah, I mean we got no service anyway.
I got service up in my hut.
Up in your penthouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Remember when we were coming into the actual reservation, they kept saying, "Oh, you're going to get service eventually, like 2 hours out where we set up. It's going to be great service, blah blah blah." And none of us got service.
Well, we had service. They didn't
was-
say
it
it was
was
going to be
spotty.
great. They
It
said
was
it was
spotty.
going to be. There would be service.
They told us it was going to be good.
Well, we had it because there was a reserve, like a lodge, that was all the way on top of a hill down there, and they said that's where we're getting the cell
But
service from.
do you guys both have AT&T as well? or-
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because they had Verizon, and Verizon had pretty
Oh.
good service out there.
Oh, yeah.
So I think they assumed
was
we
spotty.
had it. Yeah.
Rachel Gillespie. Hey, Jared. I was wondering from the episode at the Grand Canyon, were you ever terrified laying on the edge of the canyon, or did your adrenaline take over any fear you may have had? Yeah, it was pretty freaky laying over the edge of the canyon, because you sit there and you're like, well, what if it just decides to crack right now? But you're like, well, it's been here for many, 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 many,
You were a
many
bit
years.
anxious.
Was that when they were
Yeah.
holding you on with your belt and
No,
everything?
he should have gotten he didn't need to hold on to me. I'm short
Which one of
freaking
them? The
footed.
three people? Because
They
there
did
was
like a
three
human
people holding
rope,
you.
and they all like
Yeah.
held
I'm like,
on to
what are
each
you
other.
doing?
Jared's like inching away, while me and Todd are like almost falling off the cliff.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't have sat where you guys sat, but I'm talking about
Yeah.
when I laid down over the cliff. It was pretty freaky. Your heart starts beating when you lay down. But Ross laid down first. I laid down next to Ross, and I looked over and I was like,
Yeah.
damn.
And then Jaffe and I were both on the edge. Like there was a little bit. There was probably a little ledge below that.
Of glory.
And I had Todd, I think, come out with me, and I was like, "Hold me, dude," because I'm a foot away from falling off
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when we were shooting at 5 a.m.
Well, yeah, and I'm talking about when I had the camera.
Oh, you went on the edge, right?
Yeah. And I went on the
he was
edge to
close.
film
But
you
then
from that.
Jaffe was crazy. He just went like
Jaffe was by himself.
over the edge
I at
on
least had a
another
spotter.
little ledge below
Yeah.
it. That was just insane.
We have
Yeah,
pictures of that.
And then that's the bonus.
Yeah, that's the
crazy
bonus
of
video.
that.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of bonus footage if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Neil
Scary stuff.
Southwell. Hey, Jared, Steven, and the legend Todd Wolf, Q Airhorn.
Damn right.
The first show was a hit, and I'm looking forward to number 2. My question is the Fro team considering charging to watch the TV episodes?
Yep.
Like a
Damn right.
premium
Yep.
service online?
Probably like $300 a view.
Would
thinking
you have
500.
Would you have a subscription service or a pay per view?
Yep.
No.
Working on it. What?
The answer to that is no. This is something that you create.
Sorry, Morgan. Not eating tonight.
This is something that you create to put out into the world. And if you want to subsidize it, which we want to subsidize it, we're going to get advertisers and sponsors to throw commercials in it.
Can we get free lunches from the government for it?
Subsidizes?
Subsidized lunches.
I got you.
I used to get those.
That was terrible.
Yeah, I used to get those.
Were you that kid at getting subsidized
I
breakfast?
was, but we had to get tickets in the morning. We'd have to go early in the morning. It was a shit show.
That's what Morgan does, right?
No, that child doesn't have a want in the world.
Well, she works.
I do. Yeah, she pays for my video games.
She probably
with
makes
her
more
modeling
than Todd
jobs.
at this point.
Probably
No,
does.
you know what? A day rate would embarrass you. Like, holy geez, that's what I'm not gonna put her business out there
For
but-
modeling.
Yeah,
That's great.
but it's one of those things. You know, you get once every month.
Do you give her any of that yet, or you actually put that away for her?
It's all put away unless
Cool.
she desperately wants something. Like she bought her own iPad at
Yeah.
one point.
Cool.
Yeah.
So she can watch Something Sings. What's her name?
Oh yeah.
Amanda Things or something like that.
Oh my
She
god.
talks like that.
Oh my
And I
god.
wanna
Is that how she
choke
talks?
myself.
Hello.
Yeah. Now I know how everybody feels when they listen to me on the podcast when I hear that. Anyway.
So no, it's not something we're going to charge for. It's something that we will take advertisers and sponsors who want to be involved with it, that they give us the money to make the show, and we still make the show that we want to make, and those are just commercial breaks like you would see on TV, and you get to watch it for nothing.
And that's why Adventure Driven's so heavily in it, is because they helped make it happen.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to say,
did
well
a lot
done
for us.
Well done to you all, Smiley Emoticon.
Smiley.
Smiles back to you.
Forgot. Riley Baker, when's the next episode airing?
Next week.
We don't have another episode as of yet. That leads us into the next question. Mark Winning. Hey, Todd, Jared, Steven, and sometimes Joe.
Now that's the proper order.
What locations are you looking at visiting for future episodes of the Fro Show? I have a
Bang
short
bus.
list.
We actually have a lot.
I have a list
Yeah.
of things that I would like to do. Now, it's not just because we did a landscape thing at the Grand Canyon doesn't mean that we're always going to be doing
It's
something.
not always going to be camping.
Exactly.
Right, it's not going
Yeah.
to be camping. It's
Or
not all about
landscapes, yeah.
landscapes. We've got things like going to Israel and doing something in in Jerusalem because there's a lot of stories and a lot of opportunities for photos. I want to do something involving basic training, which I've talked about before. So if you
God, I want to do that.
if you're in the Army or you're in the Navy or you're any of the thing, I would like to do basic training. I'd also like to get onto a deck of a aircraft carrier. We pay taxes, Todd.
I love
guarantee
this.
that
I
is
love
not
this
happening.
this excuse he
We
has.
pay taxes.
Because we pay taxes, they're going to let us on
Let
an
me on
aircraft
the top of that
carrier.
aircraft carrier
He sounds like my
now.
grandfather.
I pay my taxes, so I should be able to go on an aircraft carrier.
I pay taxes.
You've paid $13 towards that aircraft carrier.
Doesn't matter. I've paid for that aircraft carrier.
Let's go
full.
down to the one that's down here, mothballed. The ship down here.
You mean the USS?
something or other?
Is that the Titanic
across
looking
from
one?
IKEA? The USS IKEA.
No, it's the USS American. It's
That's it.
American.
It's something like
it
that.
was the
Yeah.
fastest ship in the world
I
at
think
the
it
time.
still
Yes,
holds
yes,
that
yeah,
record.
you're right, yeah.
As the
Yeah, it
fastest.
still holds the
Like
fastest,
50 or 60 knots or
yeah,
something.
It was like the fastest ship. Anyway, if you are in the Army or have something to do with the armed forces, I would like to do basic training, whether it's some Marines thing or
boot
whatever.
camp.
We would do a show there, and I think part of the angle for a show like that is, they do the basic training. They're Army crawling under the barbed wire. They're going through the mud. They're climbing over stuff. They're hiking. I want to participate and photograph.
Yeah.
That-
And it would be nice to capture a lot of the stories of the gentlemen and ladies that are involved in the armed forces.
Well, then
that's a great angle.
You get people that are Army photographers, and you talk to them, and you get their side of it, and you talk to other people about the history, and so there's that. And I want to do something with water, underwater, maybe sharks or an aquarium.
I'd love.
We have other ideas too.
As long as I can put you in the most uncomfortable situations as possible, I'm game for it. Put you on a rocket. Put you, dangle you from dental floss from buildings. Oh, have you be a window washer.
would be good.
Anywhere where I can make you pee a little bit.
It's not jobs, per se. It still has to have a photo angle that I can take
Of
pictures
course, but everybody needs pictures nowadays. We're gonna. I'll figure it out.
Well, you
if
could do the
anybody's
win-
got an idea to make him uncomfortable, I'll figure out a way to make
You
it
can
relevant.
do the window washers thing high up on a building with you hanging over the edge, shooting photos of them down there.
crazy.
It's like what Joe McNally does at the top of the
Yeah.
spires.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different, and we want to do a hockey show, some
Yes,
kind of hockey
of
episode.
course, of
All right,
course.
so there's that. Con Campbell. Hey, Fro and team. The show was fantastic, but if you were to film another or a series, what would you change moving forward, and what do you think was the most important element to capture? We have we have a lot to work on. I think it's always an evolutionary process. I think for the first one out of the gate, it was pretty darn good.
Yeah, I love the mix of the drone shot. I
was
want
gonna
to
say
use
more-
the drone a lot more, like to
Me too.
capture like the scenes where you're taking photos.
More drone batteries,
I
for
like
sure.
using that a lot. I would definitely continue to partner you with other photographers. I love you talking with other photographers and talking shop.
Yeah.
And then I love the people angle.
More
like
interviews.
The people in these places that are living this life or involved in whatever situation we go into. I think the people angle is great because, I know you like talking to people.
Yeah, and I definitely want to do more interviews and more history. I like the history aspect of
Yes.
it. And I want to add another one to my Evernote right now, which was the Dude Ranch.
And I think from a
you like dudes.
production standpoint on my end, I would
Ranch.
definitely would like a sound guy for sure, because
Yeah.
basically it was
Well,
me
he's
and Chaffee
coming.
doing everything,
Yeah.
sound,
Yeah.
audio, video.
I mean,
whatever.
with any first episode pilot, and you're just trying to get off the ground. We went in.
Oh, of course,
we went in
yeah,
light,
yeah.
but yeah, As
If
far as
I were to make up the perfect production team,
exactly,
that's what I would
exactly.
add.
No, we have that.
Matt
I
Martin.
think we'll take at least 2 more people next time.
Yeah, and maybe another shooter as well.
yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
nice.
and we'll be good to go.
Not Joe though. Not Joe.
Fred Battison. Hey, Fro Gang. What made you decide to shoot the Grand Canyon as the first episode? And having been there, were there any regrets / missed opportunities about the trip? Loved it. BTW. Is that a big-titted woman?
Is that his initials?
BTW. No, by the way.
By the way.
Why did we choose the Grand Canyon? We chose the Grand Canyon because Dave. It's Dave, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Dave.
Okay, because I don't want to get that wrong again.
Grand Canyon
Oh yeah, you got it
chose
wrong
us.
last time.
Dave sent me a message and he's like, "Hey, you want to do a RAWtalk from the edge of the Grand Canyon?" And I vetted it and it was like,
And that's what we initially went out for.
right. I was like, okay. And so we're like, we're gonna go to the Grand Canyon and do a RAWtalk. These guys at Adventure Driven want to do a trip with us, and we're like, okay, let's do that. And then we're like, well, why don't we make a show out there, like a 5-minute portrait of something? And then we're like, okay, why don't we try doing this and this? And then it just one thing led to another.
Yeah.
And off we went.
It was a perfect opportunity. We've been talking about a show of this kind of magnitude for a while.
Long time.
We just haven't figured out how we were going to put all the pieces together. It
Actually
was
execute
the
it,
right
yeah.
place at the right time. It was nice.
Yep.
And we kept also adding stuff as we were there, like, well, let's shoot this, let's shoot that.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Devin Rockney. Hello, Jared, Steven, and I guess hello, Todd.
Yep,
guess.
here I am.
Love your show every Monday morning. I was hooked with you guys after I saw you on The Grid with Scott. The question I have, Todd wasn't on that. The question I have is, do you sell your photos, like your Grand Canyon pics, or do you shoot for yourself and separately get paid gigs? Thanks for your wisdom, and we all are looking forward to the future with you. Well, maybe not Todd.
That is not what he said. That
It
is a
says,
filthy
well,
lie.
maybe not Todd. That's
all right.
funny.
He's not allowed to win anything.
Let him win everything.
What's the question again?
Do you sell your pictures?
I
much.
put up the full res exports and some raw files from the Grand Canyon. So in essence, no, I don't sell those photos.
You pretty much give
I
them
put
away.
them out into the world that if you want to have them printed at, say, Adorama Pics,
great.
you by all means can take it for personal use and make prints. It's kind of similar to what Trey Ratcliffe does.
It is very
He
similar,
gives
yep.
away full res images. He's like, you can print them for personal use, but he sells limited, when you're selling things for like $90,000, it kind of
You
makes
can
up
do
for
that.
all the others that you don't sell.
Would you ever sell one of your pictures if somebody was like, "Hey, can you sell me a metal print like you gave me, but signed?"
Yeah, then you make a series of things and then you just charge for them.
I should have had you sign mine. I should have eBayed it. Damn it! Can I bring it back? I'm gonna bring it back.
I'll
and have
come
you
over to
sign
your
it.
Well, then I'll
house.
bring mine, but I'll make sure he signs mine first. So I'm number
I
one.
want number one. No,
No, I want
Dick,
number one.
I want number one.
I want one.
I'll do that. Yeah, I would make a limited edition of those if they were signed and numbered, and
That might be cool.
you can do that. Christopher Durkach.
Dirtcatch?
Derkach.
Dirtcatch.
Hey, Team Fro Show. Love the part about how to eliminate your waste while in the Fro Canyon.
I love that too.
Was it more like an outhouse or an outhouse with an amazing view? Todd, I'm sure you would have a comment or two to add wink emoticon.
Of course it was. The view was amazing, but and there is plenty of B-roll of us going and leaving with the bags of shame. Like Jared coming out with his bag, and me coming out with my bag.
Yeah.
'Cause every time somebody would finally go and christen it, we all made a big deal out of it. Like,
That's
oh, here goes
funny.
Steven.
Oh,
here
man.
goes. Joffe did not go.
No,
He didn't go
Joffe
at
didn't
all.
go.
The whole time.
No, he broke it at the very end. He went.
No,
Did he go?
I don't think not till the hotel.
I feel like he waited
we were
to
there,
get back
he
to the
did.
hotel, and he's like, I gotta take a
Yeah,
shit.
he's like, I just dropped a baby off.
But it was pretty cool. It was a really cool view. You just sit there and it's silent because you don't hear anything. You're just sitting there going
As the sun
into
rises.
a bag.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, that is a lot of people's favorite part of the show. Some people are like, that was too much. You shouldn't have done that. That's gross.
It's interesting
It's like-
though. People wonder, how do you?
I
go to the
was
bathroom?
personally fascinated
Me
when they were
too.
like, "This is what this is." I was like, "Get out of town."
I was in a good mood when I made that section of the video. That was like the first thing
When?
we actually filmed one of the first
It
things
was,
we filmed
yeah, you're
there.
right.
It was pretty close. Yeah, that was pretty early.
And I
That
was already
day one.
upset. I'm like, is this even going to work out?
No. The first thing we
What
did
does
was
this have
you,
to do with
was
photography?
you hammering in the tents. And
Well,
stuff,
no, we
like
were
when
on the
first
edge
got
of the
there.
canyon talking.
Oh, you're right.
With all the team.
We like directly got out of the car and before
I'm
they
like,
even
can we
set
start?
Up. Yeah.
I'm like, can we do this?
Yeah, the first few minutes is almost chronologically about with.
You're right,
We got
it
there.
is.
We talked at the edge. We put the tent together, and then we did the toilet thing.
Yep.
Javi De La Rosa Jr. Hey, Jared, Steven, and wedding photographer Todd.
Yep. Call me if you need me.
I was wondering if you guys are going to put the camera settings for the photos in/on the show. You guys don't have to say it all at the time. I understand you guys are going for a bigger audience that maybe aren't looking into photography or settings, but maybe putting it on the top left corner like how Lightroom has it would be a great add to the show for the photographers that do follow you guys. I think we've opted not to do that because if you want to find that information, we say if you want to know more, you can go to the actual show page and you can get behind the scenes footage talking about that, the settings and talking more about it, and you can download the images to see the settings. I think it's more about the amazing photos that are captured. It's not about the settings that I used when out there. I think the majority of people will sit there and be like, nice. And if you want to if you are a photographer and you want to know more, you can go to the website and maybe we'll start doing Q&As about each show, which is kind of what we do anyway. And I went through each one of the pictures and told about it, and you can download and see the settings.
Yeah,
So you
separate
did that
bonus
in the
video
bonus
specifically
video
for that.
Yep.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scott Meekum. Hey, Fro Steven. And the silent kid.
What? He did say the silent kid. I swear you make shit up.
No, he really did put it on there.
There's no Todd here, though.
That's funny.
Have you ever thought about putting out an app? Maybe like a quick reference app or situational app, for example. If you're in low light, try these settings. Thanks for all you do. And I guess go ahead and give Todd a shout out.
I have an app that'll automatically set your phone camera to 12,800 ISO. It's pretty good. It's only $99.
I'm working on something that would incorporate that into it. So that's something that I'm in the process of doing. It takes a lot of time, takes a big chunk of change to invest in it, but it is outlined and scoped and being worked on. Ilya Faldevand. Hey, Jared, I really enjoy watching your first pilot episode of the FroKnowsPhoto Photo, and I really appreciate all the time and effort you and your team have put together to make this show visually stunning.
Stunning.
I want to know how much did it cost you and crew all together to pull this first episode off, and how was it funded? And my second question is, what was the most challenging part of the production did you face while putting the first show together? Smile emoticon. In terms of pricing, Adventure Driven covered that end of the trip. It didn't cost us anything for the camping, for the food, for the experience. I paid for the flights for all four of us, paid for the hotel rooms when we stayed at the hotels before and after being in the Grand Canyon. And I had to pay Jaffe to be a shooter. You're on salary. Todd's on what Todd is on. And that's what, we don't account for time and expertise to do it. If we had to say how much it would cost putting it all together as a production company, it would be in the tens of thousands, if not higher up than that.
And I would say we shot probably 12 to 14 hours each day. Like we were shooting nonstop from the second we got up.
It was brutal.
It was really rough.
Yeah.
3 days.
I wanted to shoot more.
You weren't holding a camera.
No,
for
but I was up
14
longer
hours
than
each
anybody
day.
else because I
had to go back and dump the footage each night. I think I was the last one to sleep. The
Yeah,
only
but-
night you were up was when you had to do the stars.
I stayed up for like 2.5, 3 more hours to get stars.
I had to stay up each night for 3 extra hours to dump everything.
Whatever, dude. You should
And
have been on
organize
top
everything. It was great. So much fun.
of that. Second part of what was the toughest part of the production? I guess it was just time. The amount of stuff, like figuring
Yeah.
out what the hell to do, because you're at you don't know what type of photos you're going to get when you wake up at 5 a.m. Because when I woke up at 5 a.m, we went out there were no clouds. And so it actually sucked to take photos of the canyon when it was coming up. It was also very difficult because you had sun that's like 17 stops brighter than the shadows in the Grand Canyon.
Dynamic
so you had to
range was
contend with that. But then there was places you could shoot tighter photos if you needed to shoot tighter photos. That's the challenge of it. So
yeah, I would say we had a general outline that Todd put together for the whole thing. But yeah, we didn't
We
really
had an
know
outlined
exactly
day-to-day
what to
schedule in terms of
Yeah.
the different story
What we
points
have
we
to
wanted to
definitely
hit.
hit, yeah.
But it evolves.
Exactly.
Because it's a show, and we scripted being in situations. Like, we knew we were going to go do the sunrise shoot, and we knew we were going to go to a Hogan.
But in terms of
but
scripted,
we didn't know exactly like what Jared's reaction was going to be.
No, you don't know what I'm
Yeah.
going to say. There's no script to any of that. There's no written words that said, okay, we need to follow this.
No, but like when we got there, Jared's like, "Why are we even here? It's a hole in the ground." Like, he really said that
He
to
did.
me, and I was
Yeah.
like, "All right, cool. Say that on camera then." And then he really did have a change of heart as we were there, and was like, "This is pretty cool." So I mean, it's scripted reality.
Well, it's pretty cool to sit out. No, it was mostly reality. But it's really cool to just sit out
Planned
there.
reality, I should say.
What is it?
It's planned because we
Well,
plan to be places.
You have to go out
but you
with an
never know
idea.
what somebody's going to say.
Right.
And adding to the most challenging part of the production, I think, again, the sound, not having a boom operator. If we had like more than 2 people, not just you, we had to take a second to set up lav
See, that
microphones.
stuff just
and stuff
bothers
like
me.
that.
It's just
Yeah.
like
Well,
I
then
just
get
think
a
they're gonna
sound
get,
guy next
No,
time.
the sound guy would bother me. I'm like, get the hell out of my shot.
Yeah, but
You're
that's
in
so we
my
can
way.
film right
Leave me
around.
Yeah,
alone.
he's never gonna
I'm
be in
constantly
shot.
fighting with the crew because I'm like, I need to do this.
It's just if,
Well, then you
if you're
should just
very
go shoot photos. You don't do a TV show then.
I have to do both. See, that's the rub is I have to be good at taking photos and I have to be able to perform on the show. Because
Yes.
if I don't get good photos, see, that's the thing. That's my constant through my head in the entire time I'm out somewhere is I know we need to do these things that Todd needs to have done. But I sit there and say, but I need to shoot photos because I need to make sure I get good photos to even have a show.
Which was always difficult because we had so little time to. We were very ambitious with what we were trying to do.
We didn't do enough.
And I think if anybody wants to ask me what the most difficult thing was, Jared.
dealing with this guy.
Not true. Dalibor Bauernfrand. First episode question. How hard was it to spend that much time being so close to Todd 24/7? Also,
Or flip that.
I was gonna say
also give the man a freaking bag. Greets from Croatia.
that's funny.
Nicholas Ryan Watts.
I
Hello.
snored loud. I know that happened.
Actually, there
What
was
happened?
Snoring. Remember the whole left side of the campsite? Every single person snored.
I didn't hear anybody.
I heard everyone because
I
I was
didn't.
I was at that tent next to in that freaking snore row. Just like it was bad.
Nicholas Ryan Watts. Hello, Jared. I want to thank you and Todd for the video guide. Since I got your guide, I have become the video director at my church.
Wow.
And have received. See, we have
Really?
church followers.
Cool.
I had
Surprise.
somebody else that I play on PlayStation with. He was like, I actually bought the guide and I started doing video, and he's like, I do all this stuff, and I was like, that's amazing.
At a church, you're saying?
No, not at a church. It's separate.
Oh,
thing.
oh.
Become
Separate thing.
director at my church and have received several paid gigs, all because of what I learned from your guide. I can't wait to get my hands on the editing guide when it comes out.
That's
Cool.
awesome.
Very cool.
How much pre-production went into the first episode? In the next episode, would you put more work into the pre-production? Steven, you're awesome too. Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Thank you.
Pre-production. A decent amount, probably a couple weeks. We
Couple
talked
weeks
about
of
it
planning
off
for
and on.
sure. Yeah.
I'm
But
like,
it's one
why
of
are we
those-
even doing this?
We had a couple hour-long meetings, probably twice a week.
Yeah, and then I my biggest thing I think was talking to Seth, like
Back and
me
forth,
trying
yeah.
to understand what we were doing out there, like what opportunities there were, and then obviously Seth is always out, the guy from Adventure Driven. He's always out there on the edge of the Grand Canyon, so he's not always getting my email like, tell me more about this, and then I'd hear back 2-3 days later.
Sorry, I was camping.
Yeah.
You know what I think I would like to do in first pre-production, and we talked about this with Jaffe, is you would have somebody on the ground in those locations.
In
That would
Israel, we
be-
have somebody.
Yeah, you would have somebody kind of on the ground that would be able to set up things a little better. And Seth kind of did that. but-
Essentially,
Well, Seth
Seth was
did.
being a
Yeah,
producer.
he did a great
for
job
us.
with that. But
Yeah.
We were
you go in and you have somebody on the ground.
We were
Yep.
supposed to interview Alvina's son.
Yep.
And we were late getting there because we were actually getting really good photos and doing those OTFs,
OTFs, yeah.
Oh,
at the
yeah.
Grand Canyon
And the
before that
storm was
storm
rolling.
rolled
The
in.
storm
came in.
Last minute.
Yeah.
But that's when the best photos I got were the last photos that I took before we you guys are all the cars, everything's packed and the cars going, and I'm feeling
Jared,
drizzly.
come on!
I
They're
just
like-
remember hearing Ross screaming, "Jared, now we need to leave."
I'm like, but there's clouds and I'm getting pictures.
There's like a freaking hurricane coming.
I'm like, look, there's
Yeah.
there's rain coming.
It was bad.
It's going to be fun.
Nicole
Back.
Bolus. What up, Fro? Just started adding
What's
photos.
good?
Just started adding photos to my new Squarespace website. Thanks for the recommendation. I used your 10% off code and paid for the year. I owe you lunch. No, actually, I owe you lunch. Can you please explain how to present and protect your work when showing it to a customer so they don't just steal the images and print them by themselves? I'm trying to figure out this so I can link Squarespace to SmugMug. Well, if you're doing it online, you just don't put up the fullest res images, or you could do the thing where SmugMug puts a watermark in front of all the images. In general, you can't do shit to stop people from stealing anything, because if it's up there and they're on an iMac and it resizes it to a large size, they can sit there and print screen, just take the large portion of the image and take it. So I don't take precautions on my Squarespace at all to stop people from stealing them. I just put up the full res images, or even if they're not full reses, I just don't worry about it. Those are things you just can't worry about. If somebody's going to go ahead and do that and they already are in that mindset, they're not going to buy it from you anyway.
Yeah, that is true.
That's what I have to say
Yeah,
about
they're not
that.
going to buy it.
John Lopez, about the first episode or just the show in general. What made you decide to be What made you decide to be calmer than your usual self on the show? First off,
that.
certain situations call for certain ways to interact. Like when I'm talking to Alvina, I can't be a jumping JoJo, the circus idiot, because I would scare the shit out of her because she didn't want to be on camera in the first place. So I had to take a more tepid,
You were very calm that entire
discussion.
It was
segment,
impressive to see
for
you
that.
talk to her.
But I have the ability to do that stuff. But
do.
I was still myself when it's like, my pants are dirty, or screw you, Fly. Like,
that was all you.
I'm
That wasn't
still
us.
me. Like, I'm not holding back. It's just you can't be an asshole the entire episode. It's not.
At least not on camera.
Not on camera.
Yeah.
I wasn't that bad off camera this show.
Oh,
no,
my.
there was only one time.
Can we get Seth on the phone?
One time.
Oh, yeah.
And I felt like flipping out that one time. I needed to get it out.
Oh, man. Forgot about
The
that.
cameras rolled. We're still rolling, I'm sure.
sure
I
we
don't
have all
know
that.
if they were rolling.
I'm sure
I don't
Jaffe-
remember that.
I'm sure
part.
Jaffe had it rolling.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Kyle Stewart, how much total time did you have to film to what you used for the show? So I think that's asking how much time did you actually film and how much was actually used?
That'd be a question for Todd.
I mean, we shot how many days?
3 days.
3
plus
days.
some extra stuff.
3.5 maybe.
3.5 days, and then we came here and we shot a little bit of intro and outro here. So that was maybe another day here. So let's call it 5 days shooting time.
Roughly, yeah.
Post-wise, I mean, if I had to put an actual number of days I spent on post, back to back, I'd probably say it might have taken me 3 weeks to cut it together, maybe 4 weeks.
You should have been editing the guide.
Well, I'm also thinking the GoPro angles too. We probably let them roll for hours.
Well, we let
on
them
the
roll
cars.
until they
Yeah.
died on the car ride
It's
back.
probably like 2 hours worth.
We probably filled up about 1 terabyte of footage information, all in all.
Well, and this is also on the C300, so
Yeah.
The
So,
C300
bigger file
chewed
size.
bigger files. I mean, next time maybe we can contemplate taking Atomoses out there. It
Well, it'd
depends
be
if we're
even a
shooting
bigger
4K.
file size.
Yeah.
Well, if we get C300 Mark IIs
We'll
and we're
need it.
shooting 4K,
Yep.
now
yeah,
maybe
I'd like to shoot 4K on the next
Well,
one.
and the fact that the C300s come with those, I think it's a 5-inch monitor that Canon has.
I thought it was
7
3-inch.
I think it's like a 5, the external one.
I don't know.
Anyway, the 7-inch one would definitely be way
definitely.
better.
And if we're
Way
doing
better.
4K, we need that.
Because that was tough to film outside with that, harsh sun.
Yeah, that was
in our
brutal.
eyes
And
the
guess what they
entire
have
time.
with that new C300 Mark II? They have that autofocusing stuff that really
that
helps.
would really come in handy because I'm like trying to rack and I'm like, I think it's in focus. I
rack.
can't really tell. Huh?
Iraq.
I said I'm trying to rack focus.
So those are the flying solo questions about the show. I'm happy. I mean, I asked for other questions too. There weren't a lot of other just general ones, but I think there's a lot of information you could still glean from this discussion.
And I saw somebody actually tweet it out to Barack Obama, the show. I appreciated that. They
That's
also sent it to
awesome.
Bill Gates. I would say
see that.
This week, make sure you tweet the show out to Donald Trump.
Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban, yeah, that's a good one. Let's also send it to 50 Cent.
Sure, why not?
Bernie Sanders.
And Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders. Let me tell you about what
Larry
I'm going to
David?
do for this country. I am going to give you, I'm not a big I'm a socialist, but I'm not as big as Franklin Roosevelt was a socialist. Now let me tell you something.
He's funny.
Wall Street is a problem. Wall Street has gone too many times to take away from Main Street, and it's time that we do something about it.
I'd love to see Bernie Sanders debate Trump.
Yeah.
Well,
That would be amazing. The
Might be
just
happening.
the personalities
yeah.
would be incredible.
Trump's whole thing is just saying stupid shit that has no validity and just saying, yeah.
I'm waiting for Trump
Get
to
the
just be
media's
like, I gotcha. I wasn't really running for president.
Right?
You guys are stupid. I'm really
Joke the
waiting
whole
for him to be
time.
like, gotcha.
Well, the problem
That'd
is
be the
that
best joke ever.
our foreign listeners and readers who are sitting around the world looking at video of Donald Trump and going, this is what your country is represented by, they'd be like, yeah, well, we did have George W. Bush for 8 years and Dick Cheney.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Dick Cheney is my favorite politician.
Yeah. Uh-huh. How many billions of dollars did he make off of that last war?
Well, that's what I'm saying. We party hard when I hang out with him.
Yeah.
I just don't do the guns with him anymore because
No.
he shoots people.
It shoots people in the face. All right, let's get to the Wheel of Fro time. It's Wheel of Fro time. Here we go. On the wheel, we've got Lexar, the official card of FroKnowsPhoto RAWtalk. HOYA!
Oh, yeah.
Joe, why didn't you print out a new thing for it yet?
Still up there.
Yeah, I need to
Damn
do
it,
that.
Joe.
You have a printer now, too.
I do have
You
that.
have a couple printers back there.
I do. I have like 3 of them.
I got an L series camera Canon.
You see the red line?
It's
L
a red line. It's
series.
L series. I only use L
L-series.
series glass.
That's funny.
So HOYA HD3, we've got Rode microphones, the question mark, borrow lenses, Fro prize, squarespace.com/go. No,
Fro.
Squarespace.com/Fro. They have a new, they have e-commerce now. E-commerce store, I believe it's $26 a month. That's if you run e-commerce. I need
Nice.
to take a look at that. If you are looking to run an e-commerce store, like if I want to sell my photos, the signed prints, not having them get printed by Adorama Pics,
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually have to set that up. So I will set it up, a limited edition
Number one.
in the
I get
store.
number one. It was
I'm
my
number
idea.
one.
I'm number one.
metal
number
prints,
one.
and they'll come here and then
Jared,
I'll have
whoever
to
you love more gets number one.
all right,
Clearly
then I
me.
have to ship them out. So if you guys are interested in that type of thing on jaredpolin.com, I'm gonna, I guess, sign up for the e-commerce site and figure out how to set it up selling those prints.
Cool.
That's gonna be cool, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't think about
You're
that.
welcome.
Videoblocks.com/go/fro. Don't forget about the $49 special for Black Friday.
great.
Lexar, Black Rapid, Rode, Spin Again, Adorama Pics, Fro Prize, Think Tank Photo, audioblocks.com/go/fro, and back to the top. So, you want to talk about how they can submit Wheel of Fro audio?
Yeah, so last week we talked about
Yep.
having, instead of me and Steven butchering spin that wheel,
Wheel of Fro.
we want people to say spin that wheel
Yeah.
and send it into, what's the email address?
Sing Wheel of Fro
Sing.
at gmail.com. Sing
Sing.
Wheel of Fro.
Like
Correct.
me, sing.
Yes.
And you don't-
S-I-N-G.
You don't have to have professional audio. You can
Nope.
talk into you can say it into your phone.
Anything that records.
we
and then
want
you-
it to be consistent. Because we want to put them all together.
Yep.
So, do you want to play the new one now when I get
Yeah,
up?
we did get,
So
we got a couple.
We got a couple entries.
Yeah, and I want to play one because this was a good one.
And we don't have enough right now to put together a whole like chorus full.
But if you send it in, we're going to play it.
and we'll feature it each week.
Yeah, so this one is from Phil Wostradowski. Phil Wostradowski is going to spin that wheel. Ready?
Spin that wheel.
Good job.
Around and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. The Wheel of Fro is going to spin and win and stop on the.
Not going to be the black hole.
It could be the.
I think that's Lexar, right?
That is
It is
Lexar.
kind of like it's
Wow.
If a little. Give it a little.
So congratulations to. Name on the screen. If you're listening in the car, you don't get to see the name on the screen.
Maybe Steven should do a voiceover.
Yeah, maybe.
Like Bob Jones.
Yeah.
Bob
Just
Johnson.
so people know, they're like, oh, I won.
Well, because usually I don't get a name until like the last day.
We'll pick a name and then give it to you.
Yeah, okay.
So congratulations to.
Nicholas Ryan Watts.
You have won a something from Lexar. Congratulations.
Yay.
So people can send stuff in?
Yes, please. Yes, spin that wheel.
That's not how you said it last week, but sure.
It's kind of like how I said it.
Wait, let's hear Joe. Not.
Shut up, Joe. You don't have a microphone. But yeah, please send them in. We'll feature one every week until we get a nice audience.
Yep.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
I like that. So anything you guys want to add? We need to come up with an ending show hashtag.
Oof.
I love Todd. Why?
I mean, we could do Watch Fro Show this time
No,
because we did talk about it.
But no, we need to do something that came
Well,
up.
how about as far as news goes? We've got the Leica story, the lunchtime story, FAA Fro's
Hashtag
Giving.
Fro's Giving.
That was last week. It's over.
You're right,
Thanksgiving's
it's gonna
over,
be over.
douchebag.
You're right. We've got the long distance couple,
Hashtag
the
Fro
police
sale.
thinking the
What is it?
tripod
Fro
was a
Friday. What is it?
Black Froday. Why
Yeah,
don't we
there
just
we
go
go.
with
We
Black
got the
Froday?
tank too, the whole tank
Hashtag
thing.
Black Froday.
Black Froday.
Black
Yeah.
Froday.
Even though it'll be Monday when this comes out.
That's
and it'll be
fine.
over?
That's
Okay.
at least we know that you watched it. Black Froday.
Okay.
Yeah, and hopefully you got some deals.
I have the
But
deals.
don't buy the video guide
for 26%
only buy it when
off.
it's full price.
So Morgan can eat, right?
Yeah, because otherwise my daughter's going to be on the streets.
Speaking of streets, you filmed that movie, right?
Meek Mill,
Hot on the
Papa,
streets.
Flamers.
I don't know what that is.
That's his old mixtapes, but yeah, you know what? There's Meek Mill songs in the new Creed movie.
Is
Are
it
they
really?
really?
Yeah,
And that's
which
coming
I heard.
out
Which
next
I was
week,
like,
Creed?
why are they biting off us? We had Meek Mill songs in our Streets movie.
Yeah.
Keeping it real.
Hope you guys pick up some nice Black Friday through Cyber Monday stuff. Try to use the codes if you are listening to this later in the week. If they still work, they still work. Thank you to HOYA HOYA for being this week's sponsor. Next week we'll be back. Are we doing Thursday again next week?
Yeah, I think we'll be back to regular time.
Well, we have to figure out when we're going to New York.
But that'll be Monday through Wednesday, most
Well,
likely.
maybe Thursday because it's supposed to rain Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday as
Oh,
of right
okay.
now.
Well, we have all week, so one of those days.
Yeah, we got to figure that out.
Cool.
Because we got to go to New York. Mm-hmm. New York.
New York.
New
Let's take
York.
some lunchtime pictures.
Lunchtime pictures?
Yeah, from the book.
Oh, we should play Humans of New York out on the street.
We should.
We didn't even think about doing that.
We
That would
should
be
start
fun.
an Instagram like Humans of
Humans
on
of
the
New York,
street,
right?
That'd be
We
crazy.
should do that.
We should totally
No one's
do
ever
that.
done
Dude,
that before.
Really
They
original.
have dogs of Instagram, dogs of New York.
You could
People
do
have
anything.
and they grow and they work. It's just if you get traction, you can do something really good.
Yeah.
If you get traction. TRACTION. Traction.
Traction.
So, anything to leave us with, Todd?
Nope. Come play with me on PlayStation. Todd. And I'm on social media. Hashtag, not hashtag, at I am Todd Wolf.
Joe, where can we find more about you? You don't have a microphone.
Shut up, Joe. You don't have a microphone. Do you have a Twitter? What's your Twitter? Crazy they're not going
At
to hear that.
Joe
It's crazy they're not gonna hear
DeMarco 21. At Joe DeMarco 21.
And I am
that.
at
Straight out of focus.
S_Eckert, Eckert.
Oh,
What the heck
you hear
was
that
that?
dog? Listen.
Sound like someone crying.
Oh, I thought Joe busted wind.
That dog's name is Joey.
All right, let's
it?
wrap
Yeah.
the show up.
Joey, what's your Twitter handle?
Hashtag shut up, Joey.
Oh, and well, you know what? I think we have another one too. Naruto. Yeah, I saw you were on Twitter. What is it? Naruto shoots raw? Okay, cool. All right. Bye.
All right, guys. So that's going to be the end of the show. Thank you for watching RAWtalk episode number 160. You can get all the photo news and more over at FroKnowsPhoto.com/RAWtalk-160. And that's it. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya. I was going to do the same thing. Oh, I hit it. Oh, I got it too. Oh, why